Hi, welcome. Thanks for coming to hear my presentation and see the PowerPoint slides as I follow along. This particular presentation has to do with leadership styles and how to develop that in ourselves. My name is Derek Young. I live in the Asheville area, and my wife and I are RNs. We've been so for 12 years, and we got a regular RN degree from South College in Asheville. And I look forward to more increased education coming up. My wife is still a nurse at a facility near where we live, and I'm just a little bit farther away from where she's at. We have two sweet daughters. They're in second and third grade. And as we mentioned, this slide presentation's on qualifications of how to be a good leader. How can you improve that? And speaking of being qualified to be a leader, the qualifications that I have, I guess, to present this material about leadership is I'm enrolled in a college level class right now, Role Development and Leadership, Nursing 5320. So I've been instructed a little bit by Dr. Pantera. And as an RN, I've held a few leadership positions. I've been a lead nurse, nothing major, but I've had to lead groups. But my biggest qualification is that in this PowerPoint presentation, we have to assess ourselves. And as it turns out, I'm the world's foremost authority on me because I'm supposed to assess myself and then apply it to a leadership style. But then when somebody sees that, they can do the same thing for themselves. But as far as I go, I know me better than anybody. And as just some of the background of why we're doing this, organizations in staff performance, patient outcomes, the way facilities run, that's all affected by the type of leaders that they have. And since we're in the nursing program, especially nursing leaders, nursing is the biggest division of workers in modern healthcare. So they have a lot of leaders. And it's interesting when you think about yourself and others that each person is unique. We each have our own uh, specific backgrounds, and our background was learned by a combination of many things, all our experiences, our jobs, our family, friends, things like that. So it's very unique to us. So it would be really useful to try to identify our own strengths and where we could improve. But that's hard to do when you're just looking at yourself. You miss a lot of things and it's almost impossible to do. But we have assessment tools that's available to nurses and others and people who want to be leaders to help you do this. One of the best is the CliftonStrengths 34. That's the tool that our class used to do this project and I used for this presentation. And what it does is you answer these questions and go through their assessment, and they identify your top 34 traits that you have. And then once you know what those are, you can say, well, for me, what are my top types of qualities? And then you can pick a leadership style that'll help you be successful and if you have to lead a group. Now, the American Nurses Association, they list 7 types of leadership styles. There's laissez-faire, transactional, transformational, situational, democratic, servant, autocratic. I'm really pressed for time. I'd like to describe those more in detail. We'll get into those more. But once you see what your top qualities are from the Clifton 34 assessment, then you can apply it to the best leadership style that's outlined by the American Nurses Association, for an example. So as a preview, I'm gonna do in these upcoming slides is first of all, there's a preview of my top strengths as I guess that Clifton 34 identified. My top 5 themes, they kind of organize your traits into themes, and there's my top 2 domains that the themes fall under. And then I'm going to talk about how to apply that to being a skillful leader. Then after that, it's interesting of the Clifton 34, my lowest, my bottom ranking strengths. So the ones I'm probably lacking in the most, but it's interesting. We're going to look at the 5 themes that were the lowest on the list and 2 domains that they came from. And then I'm going to discuss how can I improve these since they're so low on my list. Okay, so you can see my my list of my top strengths. That's the good stuff right there. That gentleman in the picture has my secret file, my top 5 themes and my top 5 domains. And it's interesting, the Clifton 34, as we mentioned, that's different for each person. So you can see that I've got ideation, includer, input, restorative, positivity. Those are my top themes when you organize them. Now, ideation, I'll try to summarize this for you. Ideation is basically that I like to find fresh, new, overlooked solutions for challenging problems, and the excitement of seeing how to look at it from a new lens or a different angle. For example, I like to build things myself. Right now, I'm modifying a canoe so my daughters can't fall out of it or dump it over. And I'm building a trolling motor mount. I like to do those kind of things. Second was includer. You see, that our includer is just like it sounds. You include others. You like to have people have the opportunity to be part of your group. Some people are very exclusive and sometimes it appears snobbish at times, but includers, we like to have people included and be able to participate. It works better that way. And my dad was a big influence on me. When we wouldn't include somebody when we were younger, he said, "What, are you too good for them?" He said, "You should include everybody." And sometimes we went to a golf tournament and he picked somebody that wasn't very good. "Why don't you be on my team?" And as part of my Christian upbringing, includer was chosen as my second one. Third is the input. Now, inputters like to collect and archive things. That can apply to like information you're archiving or collecting, ideas, relationships, and of course, objects get archived too with that mentality. And I have a lot of antiques. I have a lot of collections. I got stamps, coins, shark's teeth, smashed pennies, you name it. My wife and my daughters are the same way. My sister were inputters. Restorative was number 4, and that's where you like to maintain things, repurpose them, give them new life. If something's an obstacle, I'm thinking there's got to be a way I can think through those systems and steps. There's got to be a fresh way to look at it. And I do things like that now. I like to find things that are old and beat up, polish them up, repaint them. The fifth one was positivity that the Clifton 34 identified. And it's just like it sounds. You tend to like to be positive. If there's a problem, it's kind of like we take the British viewpoint, just keep calm and carry on. We like to power through things. And, we figure if we stick with something long enough, we'll get through the situation. We'll be back to good times again. And many of my relatives on my mom's side are British. They have that mentality. They just make a little sense of humor and keep going. It's not that big of a deal. The domains that were most popular for my choices were the strategic thinking group and the relationship building group. Those were the 2 ones they identified the most. All right, welcome to slide number 4. Now, what happens here is we just mentioned I went through, Clifton said, here's your best qualities. Now the next job is to pair them with one of the styles of leadership that the American Nurses Association identified, those 7. Out of those 7, my top 3 are the ideation theme was big. Now, each of these themes, you take these and these can help you have an impact as a leader. You're asking the question, how can I make a bigger impact as a leader? Well, you take your strengths and you marry them with the leadership style. So ideation was the one that we mentioned. And if you recall, we said that I like to find solutions to problems. I get energized by fresh solutions. That's paired with situational style of leadership. Situational style leadership is kind of like what it sounds. You examine each situation by itself. You're not like bound to just one standard locked in way to do it. But you can use different angles to try to see if there's a creative approach. The next that they identified for me was the includer theme. And as we mentioned, includers like to include others and involve them, give them dignity. That pairs well with the servant leadership style described by the American Nurse Association. The servant leader style is basically you're a servant to the team. You're trying to be unselfish and you're more interested in helping them to succeed. That works well. The next one was positivity, as we mentioned. You're trying to be positive, and that works really good with transformational leadership because that's very positive. When you go to work, you're not just there to get a paycheck. You want everybody committed to quality. You want the organization to be improved with evidence-based changes. Um, people can get lazy though. So it works good with positivity because you have to be positive to get people to want to change. Sometimes they're tired, they just want to get to work, not be bothered, but you're trying to transform them. We're gonna improve this place, and you get everybody on board. And incidentally, transformational was probably the most successful type of leadership that I was able to find. Bornman and Liu, 2023, Al Thawabia et al. 2023, and Svesia et al. 2023. They all backed up the information, which I don't have time to really get into, but that transformational had the most positive outcomes. Al Thawabita et al. Interviewed 89 nurses that were involved with transformational leadership. They said the same thing, transformational was great. Specia et al. In 2023, they went through 11,813 studies, and that was their conclusion also. Let me move on to the next slide. After I mentioned that you don't have to pick one of these styles. You can blend the three. Use in certain situations, you can combine them and make your own style. But those are some powerful styles and themes right there. And you can you can continue to my battery indicator just went on. You can continue to improve and make changes as needed. So as we mentioned, we're also going to look at our bottom results from the 34 choices from Clifton. Here we see a older lady. She said, "Oh, we got to hear your bottom choices." But actually, it's not too bad because they're not weaknesses. They're still strengths. They're just not as developed as the others. But the ones I need to work on the most are command, um, competition, woo, discipline, and relator. And my bottom two domains that those fall into are influencing and executive. So the question comes up, what can I do to strengthen these? Well, the next slide, we're going to show you more clearly what those my weaknesses are. One of the weaknesses, as we mentioned, was command. I'm not really big. I don't like to conflict because people that in the command theme, they like conflict, challenges, being decisive, direct, get right on top of people. I don't like that. I tend to be more like the procrastinator here. It says hard work often pays off after time, but laziness always pays off right now. But I tend to put stuff off. I don't like conflict. I realize that. Now, this slide 7 is interesting. My other one where I was lacking was competition. People that are competition, theme oriented, they like to compete. I hate second place. Red, second place is for losers, they say. I got to be number one. I've never felt like that. But in the picture there with the bear, you see for competition, you don't have to be the fastest. You just can't be the slowest. I'm not trying to outshine anybody, but I don't want to be last either. That's my mentality. Dwight Schrute at the bottom, he stepped all over everybody. He wants to be the best. He wants to he wants to be the star. And he doesn't care if he isolates the whole office. But you see his title after all that, it was just regional manager, assistant to the regional manager. So Jim Halpert must have put that in there. Big deal. He got a title. I don't really care much for competition. But as we'll talk, there's benefits to that too. Woo and relator are my other weaknesses. They kind of go together. They're those kind of people like one-on-one bonding, talking about your feelings, loving to meet new people, having people around them, widen their crowd. I'm kind of shy from that. I like a kind of a small group of people, but that duck there is interesting. Sometimes I've befriended people and they're bugging me every time I've got time off. I got a moment that's free. Can you help me with this? Can you come over here? Can you come? And I've kind of gotten away from that, but there's a lot of advantages to Woo and Relator, as we'll mention. A lot of people like that, though. And finally, the last one here that I was lacking in was discipline. These are meticulous organizers. They don't like improvising. They like rules, order, protocol. Yeah, I'm not crazy about that. I like things simple, like in the picture here, and I like to make things easy. I like to do a good job, but I don't really like to be just nailed down where everybody's got to do the exact same thing all the time. So finally, here's my conclusions and recommendations when looking at all this together. I'm sorry, I'm really pressed for time, but basically, the the advanced practice nurses are often used in leadership roles in the medical facilities they practice in. So a proven strategy, if you want to be a good leader, is to identify your strengths unique to you. The CliftonStrengths 34 assessment is a great way to do that if somebody's interested in doing it for themselves. It costs a little bit of money, but it's worth it. It really improves you. The top 5 strengths, as we mentioned, are summarized there. The top 2 domains are summarized on this slide. But then the leadership styles, again, I was best suited for the situational style, the servant leadership style, and transformational. And I can blend those together to improve myself as a leader. And as I further mentioned, my lowest ranked categories are very helpful though, because that means I'm not using those weapons. So if I learn how to do that, I can make myself a much better leader. And I'm just going to read kind of that recommendation section because when I've identified the things that I'm lacking in, basically the data show that I have to focus on improving and developing more closer mutual relationships with others and exhibit more trust in them and have more close bonding with them. I have a need to think about improving my organization, my orderliness, and being disciplined to meet deadlines. I can use competition in a way that's not negative, but it can help to really improve quality and drive an organization and avoid being mediocre. Sometimes, if you're focused on being number one, you're not mediocre, you're doing a good job. And I can also try to meet and show an interest in other people. Effective leaders need good relationships with others to succeed because they're working with a lot of people. So you got to get good at that. And in my weakness in the theme of command, I need to be more direct and decisive and want to be involved in getting involved in people's personal things if they need help solving challenges and conflicts. Those can be valuable if you can solve those for organizations. So I'm going to try to work on my more hidden strengths and put that together with my proven strengths. And I thank Clifton 34 assessment for the help with that. And I want to thank you for listening too. Thank you.